r/AskReddit, what is considered dangerous, but is actually harmless? They're not. Actually. So I have red belly piranhas. They won't eat you if they've been fed, but if they're hungry they'll send out the scout to look at your finger in the tank and it'll try to take a bite. So it really just depends if they are hungry or not. That one scene in Speed Racer was the first thing I thought of. As long as you don't have open wounds, you're pretty safe to be in the water with them. Consuming food past the best by date. A lot of foods are just fine, but you have to be careful with certain foods. Yes, by a few weeks or even months. But please do not encourage my mother to keep that tartar sauce from 2010. Stepping on a crack. My mom's back is still fine and I have stepped on so many cracks it's not funny. When I would get mad at her I would look for cracks to step on. Surprising number of people still believe message is harmful even though it's no more dangerous than salt, and the LD50 is 5 times salt IIRC. It's not only harmless but truly elevates the flavor of food. The stigma of it being harmful is literally based on one single article which was a racist joke masquerading as a genuine study. I got in an argument with some lady who dismissed that fact and insisted it's dangerous for all just because she has an allergic reaction to it. Can't fix stupid. Skipping breakfast. Read everything but did not see it, so. Most sharks. Fully agreed. I haven't eaten breakfast for over a decade, and at that time everyone was telling me how unhealthy it was and how breakfast kickstarts your metabolism. Now, instead of saying you skip breakfast, call it intermittent fasting, and now it's healthy and I'm told good for you. Quicksand. It doesn't suck you down. What about rouses? I actually did get stuck in quicksand once, and it was terrifying. Thankfully my brothers were able to pull me out. It didn't suck me down per se, but every tiny movement made me sink deeper and I couldn't get out, and it became clear to me that the pit was way deeper than I thought. Haha, so true. Also, as kids we're led to believe quicksand will be a much more prominent feature of our lives than it actually is. But when you're in a tidal area. Harmless snake species. Yes, a lot of people have the mantra that the only good snake is a dead one. Even the venomous ones tend to avoid humans and have their place as pest control. Flying. You are more likely to die in a car crash than or a plane crash. Commercial flights, yes. Private, single-engine prop planes flown by Jim Bob. Not so safe. I read that sharks have bad eyesight and take a bite out of people thinking it's a seal or something else they normally eat, and then they don't finish us off because they don't actually like to eat us. No idea if that's an urban legend though. There's a common saying that goes, the most dangerous part about flying is driving to the airport. Boeing, hold my beer. Walking/biking alone in my neighborhood, which is the safest in Alberta? Dumb question from someone who has never lived in snow. Do people bike when it's snowing and or cold? Like, for commuting and stuff? Or is it a moderate temperature activity only? Conflict. I know this goes deeply against Reddit's strategy of going no contact over any disagreement or perceived slight, but if someone you care about has upset you, the healthiest thing you can do is talk to them about it. It's going to feel like you're creating drama, but if you don't communicate with people you won't have relationships, romantic, friendly, or familial. You're not creating the drama by addressing the drama. Garbage disposals. They're always shown in movies chewing someone's hand off, but there's very few injuries reported. In contrast, nail guns are more dangerous than any movie. Scores of severe injuries, even deaths. The thing about garbage disposals is they don't even work that way. There's no spinning blades, or even anything sharp inside them. For an increasing number of people, vaccines. Vaccines are remarkably safe. Sure, there are some adverse reactions, but they're in the extreme, practically negligible, minority. People act like the COVID vaccine was the first vaccine ever created and it was done in a dumpster by the guy from Beekman's World after he got the recipe personally from George Soros and Bill Gates, who were laughing like demons as they handed it over. Deleted. Possums. Can't get rabies. Hiss and act tough. Ultimate defense is pretend they are dead. And they prey on copperhead snakes. Also eat ticks and are very good mamas. A lot of different snakes. I mean, if you're ever unsure, it's probably safer to treat it as you would any black mamba, a frequent encounter of our lives the world over. But, you'll probably be fine if you just avoid it altogether. Black bears are pretty chill if left alone. If it's brown, lay down. If it's black, fight back. If it's white, good night. If it's gummy, yummy. I scrolled too fast and thought that said black beans and wondered why they were dangerous. GMO. Absolutely this. GMOs are not only harmless, they're actually beneficial. For example, golden rice will save lives and improve nutrition for millions of people when people get over their fears of GMOs. Cracking your fingers. Grew up hearing you'd break your fingers, but further research down the line showed that it's basically harmless. I heard your blood will just absorb them because it's air and that's what blood does. Yeah, I grew up being told it causes arthritis, but I've seen a lot of evidence since then that it doesn't. Nuclear power. Not completely harmless but stranger danger is overplayed, in my opinion. A stranger you pick at random generally is trustworthy. If a stranger picks you, they're probably not. This. If we're talking murders, for example, 90 to 95% of the time it's committed by someone the victim already know. Touching or just being around fentanyl. Lots of police officers think they overdose simply from touching it. Not possible. As a nurse who is around fentanyl almost every shift, I always laugh so hard at the videos of police officers who pass out after merely touching or being in the vicinity of a bag/container of fentanyl. Either these officers are extremely undereducated about how fentanyl works and they're having an extreme panic reaction, or it's all just performative bullshit. T. Making a funny face. It doesn't get stuck like that despite what parents say. Message. Sharks. There are about 80 unprovoked attacks a year. Worldwide. Yes, they're unpredictable, powerful, dangerous animals, and when you see one, you should get out of the water calmly in a way in which it does not see you as food. But as long as you aren't an idiot, you're more likely to die from a mosquito. There is a limit. And nurses do get very dismissive about it. I was hooked up to a machine showing an in-line error and the nurse just tried turning it off and back on. I do not feel bad about bitching up a storm about it, lol. Apparently eating uranium. Sugar, fats, all kinda of unhealthy food that are actually necessary for your body, just don't eat only those. Playing outside. Nobody is going to kidnap your kid. Nobody grasps just how rare that actually is. I feel like the concern nowadays is more towards cars than anything. Somebody else's opinion. Spiders. Dangerous for my mental health. Nuclear power. Since its invention, there have been less than 30 nuclear accidents. Of those, only 10 resulted in any loss of life, and of those, only 3 resulted in more than single-digit deaths. In total, about 4,500 people died in these accidents, and Chernobyl alone killed 4,000 of them. Sulfates in shampoo. Asking someone on a date. Going to bed with your hair wet or playing out in the rain. My mom used to tell me I would get pneumonia if I did that. Not harmless to my feeling of self-worth though. Being rejected though. I'd say butter. As with anything, moderation, but it's not as scary as people make it out to be. GMO foods. Swimming right after eating. Swimming after eating can cause cramps. If you're swimming in a pool with other people, no problem. But swimming in the open water, suddenly cramping and losing the ability to swim effectively can be very dangerous, especially if you are at a beach where riptides are common. Turns out, eating burnt food doesn't cause cancer. My mom told me I would get sick too. I never understood how, but she said I would get too cold. Piranhas. Hello everyone. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to humbly ask you to subscribe to the channel. According to my statistics, 100% of my viewers in the past 28 days are not subscribed. I have always wanted this channel to reach 1,000 subscribers, and if you want to support and be a part of that, subscribe. It's free and it's an awesome way to support the channel. Thanks again. Reddit glitch out.